Blue Origin's Blue Shepard successfully launched 6 crew members of mission NS-32 on a short trip to space and returned them back to Earth Saturday morning. According to Associated Press, the passengers included Aymette Medina Jorge, Dr. Gretchen Green, Jaime Alemán, Jesse Williams, Mark Rocket and Paul Jeris. Blue Origin's New Shepard capsule landed on the desert floor in West Texas 10 minutes after launching. The booster landed back on Earth 7 minutes after liftoff from Launch Site 1. Crew member Jaime Alemán, a Panamanian attorney, businessman, and former ambassador to the United States, said after landing that the ride was very moving, very spiritual. Even better than I ever imagined. To go up in space and see how huge it is, you can only begin to imagine how much more there is still to discover, he added.
4, 3, 2, 1, ignition.
You're going to be able to note the speed and the altitude graphics as well.
Have changed a little bit. Now that the vehicles are separated, we're tracking the booster and the capsule separately. Engine relight. And a beautiful landing for the New Shepard booster.
It's Texas, you notice all this dust comes up, but that actually means that it's made.
Get the home plugged down. Oh, you guys just did it! All right!
There we go, touchdown. New Shepard crew capsule. Now, right now, our capsule.
Yep.
All right, there's Dr. Gretchen Green.
Base and back. Beautiful day.
Jaime Alemán.
It was such an incredible ride, and very moving, very spiritual, even better than I ever imagined. So, and for me, that I've been traveling thanks to the gods all my life, this is like a cherry on top of the cake. I mean, it's like to go up in space and see how huge it is. You can only begin to imagine how much more there is still to discover.
From the landing pad to take it back to the barn, but how did they do it?
Russia is warning Germany not to help Ukraine develop its own long-range missile systems, telling the United Nations Security Council that it is thwarting efforts to establish peace. On the whole, we cannot but note that Germany's actions are part of a campaign Europe has launched aimed at sabotaging the peace process, trying to provoke our country to respond, Russian Ambassador Vasily Nebenzia said. According to Associated Press, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz pledged Wednesday to help Ukraine develop missile systems that would be free of any Western-imposed limitations on their use and targets. Nebenzia sees the assistance as an obstacle to achieving a lasting ceasefire. In order to achieve this, we need to see the other party taking steps as well, he said. Some of the advanced weapons systems that allies have supplied to Ukraine during the 3-year war were subject to range and target restrictions, a fraught political issue stemming from fears that if the weapons struck deep inside Russia, the Kremlin might retaliate against the country that provided them and draw NATO into Europe's biggest conflict since World War II. The United States defended Ukraine's right to defend itself from aggression. Ukraine's fellow UN member states have a right to provide Ukraine with the means to do so, Ambassador Chris Lu said. Lu also criticized China and North Korea for supplying troops and weapons to Russia.
С целью пустить под откос усилия по установлению мира, европейские страны предприняли за последнее время целый ряд шагов, направленных на раскручивание спирали эскалации. Так, новый канцлер Германии Фридрих Мерц на днях заявил о снятии ограничений на дальнобойность поставляемого Украине оружия со стороны Британии, Франции, Германии и Соединенных Штатов. В целом же приходится констатировать, что действия Германии являются частью развернутой Европой кампании по саботажу мирного процесса, попыткой спровоцировать нашу страну на какие-то ответные действия, которые они могли бы потом представить американской администрации как свидетельство неготовности Москвы к переговорам. Несмотря на очевидное истощение собственных ресурсов, государства Европейского Союза продолжают изыскивать способы для наращивания военной поддержки неонацистского киевского режима, что лишь способствует дальнейшему нагнетанию напряженности на европейском континенте. Готовы рассмотреть возможность установления режима прекращения огня, который в дальнейшем позволил бы выйти на устойчивое разрешение первопричин конфликта. Но для этого мы должны видеть встречные шаги с другой стороны. Чтобы прекратили поставки киевскому режиму вооружений и чтобы Украина остановила мобилизацию. Однако все ваши высказывания указывают на то, что подобный сценарий вас не устраивает.
The Russian Federation called today's meeting to advance the claim that European countries, by providing assistance to Ukraine, are undermining efforts to restore peace. That is not the case. Ukraine, as a sovereign country, has the right to defend itself from aggression. Ukraine's fellow UN member states have a right to provide Ukraine with the means to do so. We share the concern expressed by other members of this council that Russia could be uninterested in peace and instead bent on achieving a military victory. So today, the United States calls on those countries supporting Russia's war industrial base to work towards peace instead of fueling war. We urge China to reconsider supplying dual-use goods to Russia's war industrial base. Drones made by Chinese companies using Chinese technology are destroying Ukraine's cities and Ukrainian families. China's policies are enabling the killing and prolonging the war. Russia's reliance on weapons and troops from the DPRK and its training of DPRK troops are particularly troubling, considering the many UN Security Council resolutions they violate. And the risk, Pyongyang could use whatever rewards it receives from Russia to further threaten peace and security in its own region.